Hi guys, this is Aaron Miller, and I'm going to show you today a little bit how to make an overlay for your videos. So this is for Heidi, but anyone else who wants it, please feel free to take a look. The first thing you're going to need is Gimp. You can go to gimp.org/download/ or gimp.org, and you can navigate from there. It will detect what it thinks your operating system is, and then you can click to download it. I'm using my Windows machine because I like my mouse and keyboard mostly, and because the monitor is a little bigger. So for me, this is where I like to kind of do my creation. But you could do it on your. It works just fine on your Mac laptops as well. So you're going to download that and install it as per your regular installation. The second thing you're going to need, for me, is I'm going to need a navigator. So I'm going to search navigator and on Yammer. So, and then Miss Martin had uploaded a PDF with the contest winner, and I have downloaded that onto my desktop. So that's there. And then also you can. The other thing that I want is a high resolution texture. So any of these will. So I typed in high res texture into Google. Okay. For me, I need it to be at least 1920 by 1080, okay? At least 1920 by 1080, because that's the size of my monitor, that's the size of video I'm going to do. Yours, especially if you're doing it with your Macs, it's going to be smaller. So what you're going to want to do is make sure that's the exact size of your monitor. So we could go with any of these textures. This might be a pretty one. It's going to be pretty simple. So I am going to make sure this is the high resolution one. Yep. So I'm going to grab that one. I might grab just a couple to kind of show you what the difference would be. What is this? Just like a weird green. Okay. This is a pretty standard metal texture. Pretty classic looking. And I might grab just one more, just to show you kind of the difference of how it will turn out. You'll only need to pick one, so you can pick any one that you want. This is a cloth? Yeah, okay. So I've picked a brushstroke texture, a metal texture, and a fabric texture. You can just pick one, it doesn't matter. Maybe... Okay, let's see if it opens. If not, we'll pick something else. Now they are not kidding, that is a high resolution texture. Okay. So while we're getting those guys to load, wow. Okay, while we're getting those to load, you may just skip those. I'm going to open Gimp. Now, I am going to ask you to open up your toolbox. I put mine on the left, that's where I like it. I like my layers on the right, I like this because of Photoshop. That's just me. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit File, New. You can also hit Control N. And I'm going to make one that's 1920 by 1080. The reason I'm going to make it this size is because that's the exact size of my desktop resolution. Okay? So yours may very well be different. Okay? So here's what we've got. You're going to see over here there's a background. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to click Delete. Okay? I do not want a background on mine. I'm going to see if our texture is done. No, okay. I'm going to call that a loss. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, for me, this is the way that I like to do it, I'm going to kind of box out, I'm going to create a new layer here, and I'm going to kind of just generally box out what I want mine to look like. I need a new resolution, or a new texture. I'm sorry, a new overlay, there we go, because I want to be able to hold my new videos. So here's a 4x3 window. This is actually going to be my slideshow, and it's going to be much bigger than last time. So I'm going to do that on this whole side, give or take, and that's going to be about here. Okay. So the way that I'm actually going to do this, I think, is I'm going to take a fixed size. I'm going to do, let's say 50 by 50. So 50x 50. hold Control on my keyboard, and I'm going to scroll up on my mouse wheel. Hold Control on my keyboard, scroll up on my mouse wheel. I'm going to stick this right in the corner, and then I'm going to click on the ruler and drag over a guide. And I'm going to put it right on the edge of that. And here's the reason. I want the exact same spacing from top and bottom. So that's 50 pixels. So when you hold Control and zoom out, do the same thing on the bottom. I'm going to make a box. I'm going to put it in on the bottom. Okay. Using Control to zoom in and out. You can also hit View, Zoom. Got mine set to 1100% because I'm weirdly precise. You don't have to do it this accurately. This is just something, this is more me being weird. Okay, I'm going to change it back to fixed ratio, 4:3. And now I'm going to start in one of the corners. I'm going to drag down until I hit my bottom bar. And that's going to be my barrier. So I'm going to drag a line right over. I'm going to drag this line back over. Okay. Cool. Now, for me, I'm going to make the left hand, well, no, we'll stay consistent. So fixed size, 50 by 50. I'm zooming in again so I can get the line perfect. I'm going to do it all the way over in the corner for the exact same reason. Now, I tend to like to make things look as absolutely beautiful as possible, as super intensely, whatever. I just like for things to look pretty. So, mine may be a little bit more intense than yours. Yours does not have to be exact on any way, shape, in any way, shape, or form. That is okay. I'm going to add barrier, or I'm going to add a ruler, a guide. That's what they're called. Click on the ruler to add the guide. Okay. So I'm adding guides off all four of the sides too. Basically what I want to be able to do is grab and know that I'm doing it, grabbing the very edge of the paper at any time. So you see now I have guides left side, right side, top, bottom, 50 pixels away from the left, 50 pixels away from the, so I've got a 50 pixel margin all the way around, and then this 50 pixel guide that's in between my ratio. Okay. Yeah. So here's what I'm going to do. Okay. I am going to click on my desktop again. Oops. I'm going to grab my texture, and I'm going to grab the painting one just because. I'm going to drag it in. Okay. Now you'll see since this was bigger than my screen, it will go past the edges. And I'm gonna. This looks fine. I'm actually gonna move it down just a little bit because I don't want the white in the corner. Okay, with that over there. Okay. Then I'm gonna say layer, crop to layer to image size. There we go. Okay. So over here we have the layer. That is our texture, and then we have a blank layer. So, what I will be doing, take off fixed size. There are two ways that you can do this. First of which is that I could go in here and I could just delete that. Huh. Okay. I'm going to select all, copy, and I'm going to paste it into the layer. Into a new layer because this one has, and then delete out the high-res texture. Because it was a JPEG, it did not have transparency, so now when I delete it, it'll go away. Cool. Okay, I like this. Yeah, that'll be fine. So I'm going to delete out here. Now I know that I have a 9:5 ratio camera because I do this stuff a lot. Your camera may be something different. So I can do it as narrow as this. I don't want my webcam to be that narrow, so I'm actually going to do a I may do a 4:3 again. And then I'll just have the rest of my camera kind of drop off the back. Okay. So I'm going to do that. So this is where my slide is going to be. This is where my webcam is going to be. Now, this looks fine, right? This is really all that you need. This is not going to be all that I use. So I want to do, okay. So here's what I want to do. And I'm going to do it on this layer right here because this is a new layer, so I've selected a layer with nothing on it. I want it to kind of look like a photo album, I think. So, and we'll do a fixed size of 50 by 50. That's too small. Let's do 75 by 75. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So, I'm going to paint this. I'm going to paint this with the paint bucket to be white. And then I'm going to take 50 by 50. I'm going to get rid of it. Okay. And then I'm going to go from this very bottom corner all the way to this very top corner. And I'm using this selection tool, which is the lasso, and I'm going to delete it. Okay? My goal is that I want these to look like tabs in a photo album. Okay. Let me show you what I mean. So there are photo albums where you tuck the corner of the pages, corners of the pictures in, and yeah. Okay, well, okay, sort of like that. So, looks like really what I could have done was just cut them diagonally. So we'll do that. Once again, I'm going to zoom way in because I'm silly, not because it's actually important to get it perfect all the time, but it's important to me. Okay. So now, boom, we've got our tabs. I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to unclick fix so it just grabs everything. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it. Okay? Then I'm going to layer, transform, flip horizontally, maybe. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to put it right here. And then I'm just going to double click off of it with my select tool. Okay. Now I've got the top tabs for my webcam. I'm going to grab them, copy, paste, transform, layer, transform, flip vertically, drop it in as the bottom. Okay. Boom, done. Okay. I'm gonna grab this guy, copy and paste him into this corner. This one, copy and paste into this corner. This guy. Paste them into the bottom right. Why not snapping to grids? Guys. Huh. Oh well. I don't know why it's being weird about the bottom line, but it's okay. That one's done. And then just one more corner. Okay. Now you'll see I have two layers now. I need the layer with the white tabs, and I have the layer with all the stuff surrounding it. Okay? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab layer of white tabs, and I'm going to use this color picker here, click on the white, say filters, lights and shadow, drop shadow. Now we'll bring up this window. I'm going to offset 0, 0. I'm going to try a blur radius of, let's try 20. I am not going to allow resizing. That means I can resize your image. You don't want that. Okay. So it's a little hard to see what it does, but it's going to basically drop a shadow. You can see it right there on the top and bottom. We're going to move the drop shadow underneath it. And here's why. So I'm going to create a blank layer. This part you do not need to do, the blank layer for this. I'm going to make just kind of a green screen layer so I can see it. This is just for me so I can see where my shadows are. Okay. So if you see, it's going to kind of give me a little bit of shadow, cut my edges off here. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing by selecting empty spots here, because these are a whole bunch of different colors. Select, invert, and then filter. I'm going to repeat drop shadow. Now if you notice, my tags are going to look like they're underneath my page. So this kind of creates a double 3D effect. That's okay. So this is going to be kind of what I want to go with. Now, one last thing, which is that I like the pattern that's on it, but I don't like the color of the page. So I'm going to go filters, colors, and I'm going to say colorize. Colorize will make it all of one color or another. Okay. Now, I really like the blue. I think the blue kind of looks like, water, and we're for the gators or whatever. So you could pick any color that you want. I can make it, the saturation is how colorful it is. So you see the corners are really bright red now. Lightness goes from white to black. So if I want like a dark red, I can do that. So let's find a blue that feels navigator-ish. Well, we'll do this for now. Okay. So that would be how you would do it. I'm actually going to go with kind of a very light gray, I think, for me. For matting. Okay. So I'm going to do that. But you can do whatever color you want. Oh, and speaking of gators, let's actually pull out our navigator. So I'm going to open up contest winner announcement. I'm going to right click our navigator. Say copy image. I'm going to paste that guy right in here. Now you'll see we've got all this black around here, right? And that's problematic. The other thing is that's too big. So first thing we're going to do is scale. First thing I'm going to do is grab the extra black, select, shrink by, let's say 20. Well, that's too much. Back over. So I'm going to grab the black and select, shrink by, let's say 15. Undo, select, shrink. And a lot of this is playing and finding the ratio you want. Okay. So now you'll see that we have kind of a nice with the exception of there are some spots that should still be colored in and are not. So I'm just going to grab the paintbrush, and I'm just going to paintbrush him. I don't want his eyes to lose color, that kind of stuff. The other thing that you'll notice is that now I've got a frame around him, and that looks kind of silly. So we can delete that as well. So I'm just going to highlight the stuff that I want to delete and delete it. detailed or as not detailed as you want to do. And last side. Okay. Now my layer is too big, so I'm going to go layer, scale layer. And I'm going to shrink this down. Let's try 600. I don't know what size to do. That's still too big. So I'm going to undo and then rescale. You don't have to. You can just scale from there, but if you want the prettiest version, you kind of want to rescale. Okay, we'll try 500 instead. Okay. Now, the other thing is, if you look over here, mode, normal, I'm going to play with this, see if there's one that looks kind of like it's, burn looks pretty good, makes it look like it's actually painted on. Hard light looks okay. Grain merge is pretty good. I'm gonna go with burn. Okay. So, last thing I want to do is kind of center this guy. I'm gonna put him right down here, kind of in line. That kind of in the middle here. Okay, so this is what our page looks like. This will be my webcam. This will be the overlay for the video. So before I can do anything, I have to unclick my background layer. If you have one, you want this to be open and this to be open. Otherwise, you can't put those things in. So that is how to make an overlay from there. Export as PNG, fellas, ladies and fellas. So that's me walking through how I would make my overlay. Thanks for watching if you made it this far.